This is Nick with Build Brothers Roofing at 14432 Rutledge Square. Starting my digital inspection, we always like to start underneath the eaves of the house. So your eaves are always going to consist of your fascia board, you have your rafter tails, and then you have your starter board. And the reason why we like to start underneath the eaves is that it gives us a good idea about what kind of wood damage we can expect on this property. If there's wood damage underneath the eaves, and it's telling us that water's been getting underneath the structure for a while, and there will be some wood repair. We can see we got a ton of wood rot going on right here. So a lot of this fascia, all this fascia is going to need to be replaced. We have shadow board, that's all going to need to be replaced as well. My suggestion on the shadow board is that we just eliminate it, but I will have that conversation with the homeowner about that as well. We can see underneath this portion of the house also that we have a bunch of water marks that are coming down as well. So that's showing us that water has been penetrating the structure and that the roof is no longer doing the job that it should when it comes to waterproofing the house. So I'm going to work my way up now. This is a flat concrete tile. This is actually a Monier Homestead tile. This is a discontinued tile. They don't make this tile anymore, and when you do find it, it's typically very expensive, usually around $6 to $7 a tile. And on a roof like this, when it is being redone, just know that there will more than likely be at least 500 to 1,000 tile that are going to need to be replaced on this particular property. But we can see we got a lot of tiles that are already starting to slip. These tiles have been coming down for a while, and you can see all that underlayment that's been exposed. I'm going to show a section of the roof where that's even more prominent. All the mortar cap is missing. A bunch of mastic has been used in replacement of it. The other thing I want to point out are all these chipped corners. So this is a defect on this tile. So when these tiles get put on, they have all these stress fractures right along this portion of the tile, all in the same corner, and it's throughout. So the majority of these tiles are going to have that chip. Doesn't necessarily mean that the tile is bad or that it is no longer waterproof, but just know that for this particular home and for this particular tile, that is always going to be the case. These tiles, I went ahead and slid down. They weren't actually nailed in. But you can see how much water's been getting down underneath these tiles. You can see how rusted out that nail is. You can see how brittle this underlayment is. So this underlayment literally just kind of crumbles in my fingertip. And when the underlayment gets to be that point, that's a telltale sign that the product itself has gone well past its life expectancy. This underlayment is very smooth. It's extremely brittle. New, fresh underlayment is going to be very thick. It's going to be very coarse, very gritty, very granular to the touch. And this underlayment is none of that. We can see that the majority of the sealant around the penetrations has worn through as well. All that water and moisture every time it rains comes down those pipes and will be getting into the structure itself. I'm going to work over to this portion. Again, all the mortar caps are completely missing at this point. But you can see all these tiles have completely slipped, and all that underlayment has been exposed for years and years and years. And at this point, it's really just disintegrating. So this roof has gone past any kind of repair. We've got a slip tile over here. And I am going to recommend a lift and reset on this, especially since the customer is looking to add solar panels to this roof. I would never recommend adding solar panels to a roof in this condition, mainly because it costs a lot of money to remove and reinstall solar panels. So if you're going to put solar panels on your roof, make sure that you're only going to be putting them up one time. You can see that this tile has slipped. There's more than likely, well, I would say there definitely is a leak coming from this section of the roof. You can see all that underlayment is completely disintegrated at this point. Water's been getting underneath this valley metal and probably been wreaking havoc on the decking underneath it. So in my professional opinion, and I'm gonna go ahead and slide this up for the homeowner just to hopefully mitigate any more leaks from coming. But in my professional opinion, yes, this roof does need to be replaced. I am gonna recommend a full tear off on this roof. I'm also gonna recommend going with a new tile. If the homeowner would like to roll the dice with the lift and reset where we reuse the existing tile that is on this roof, that is okay, as long as they agree to pay for the additional tile that we're gonna have to use on this particular roof. And there really is no way of knowing how much we're actually gonna have to use. Either way, we tear this down to the decking. We're gonna rip all this underlayment off. We're gonna dress any kind of bad wood. So, you know, replacing the fascia board, replacing all that rotten wood over there as well. Once this gets down to the decking, we'll look at the plywood, see if any of that needs to be replaced. Then we're gonna go ahead and add 2 layers of UDL 40 underlayment. Right now we have 1 layer of probably UDL 30 underlayment that's on this roof right now. So we're gonna make this underlayment thicker, stronger, heavier, and we're gonna actually double up that underlayment on that. Once that's all complete, we're gonna add a brand new drip edge along the entire perimeter of the roof. I talked about this shadow board. I wanna point this out for the homeowner. This is the shadow board, and a lot of times all this board is completely rotten. So when we add a new roof, we always are gonna add drip edge to it. So we can eliminate this instead of replacing it and just put the drip edge right over it. But there's gonna be some paint that needs to be done. So if that's the case, then my painter could come out and coat that portion of it as well. But again, new drip edge, new underlayment, and then the old tile goes right back on top. Or if the homeowner is looking to go with a new tile roof, then they'll go ahead and add that as well. That's it for my inspection.